Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Chunks and Chats. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit more random, dare I say. I want to get better at discussing any topic on command without thinking about it ahead or premeditating it. Because I will often think of a conversation in my head before I have it, just so like I can get better at it or I can know, like what I'm going to say. So what I'm going to try to do today is give myself random topics. I'm going to be spinning a wheel and I'm just going to talk about whatever stuff comes up. We'll see how many topics we can fit into however long I decide to record for. So let's go ahead and bring up our wheel and spin and see what we get. Okay, first one. Here we go. There we go. What's one thing you've won and how did you win it? Ooh, okay. One thing I've won. How did I win it? I picture awards, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Though, actually, yes. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do awards. When I was a kid, I went to this program called AWANA. It was an acronym. AWANA. Approved Workmen Are Not Ashamed. And I went to that event, not that event, that program, hosted by multiple churches because my family has moved around quite a bit. And almost every church I went to hosted that. And if you're not aware of what Awana does, it's like a once a week kind of club type thing for kids. And they are encouraged to memorize passages from the Bible. And there's games and crafts and group lessons and things like that. It is a little bit different for each church, but the core curriculum was the handbooks where you memorize the Bible passages. So the more verses you would memorize, the more passages you could recite off your head without reading it straight from the book, you would get rewards, prizes, things like that. They would give you this stuff called I forget what it was called, like Awana bucks or something like that. And then they would have a store night every once in a while where you could spend that cash, that quote unquote cash, on prizes like candy, toys, things like that. I got a movie one time even. But the actual awards themselves, there was a ceremony once every semester. And so every kid would get like a trophy or a medal depending on the level of completion. And the rewards got like the trophies and stuff got fancier and fancier like the further along you got in your handbooks. So it was pretty cool. It was a nice way to get a lot of scripture in my head and in my heart from a young age. And with there being incentives, it definitely helped. And I'm glad that I was a part of it. All right, next one. Let's see what we get. What's the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you? Oh no. Yeah, no pressure on that one. Ugh, let me think. Well, I mean, I could be cliche and I could be spiritual and I could say the nicest thing that my parents have done for me was train me up in the ways of the Lord. But I think everyone who grew up Christian and maintained those beliefs would probably say that. So I want to try and say something more creative. Probably just always being there no matter what. I mean, my parents have definitely been the nicest to me as far as family goes. Yes, my siblings and my grandparents and whatnot. I mean, they've done things for me, but my parents have definitely, in my whole family, they are the ones who have done the most, for sure. And just actually being there, I think, is probably the nicest thing. And in so many more ways than one. Like, I can't even list all the ways that they were there for me. And I often take that for granted because a lot of people either don't have both of their parents or their parents aren't in touch with them. I know a lot of people whose parents like just they don't spend enough time with them. They're not really there. They're kind of just idle, absent, very hands off. And I feel really bad for those people who grew up that way. But I feel like I was very loved. My parents always made sure I had everything I needed. They always went the extra mile to serve me, to get me everything that I needed. Not that I wanted, mind you, that I needed. They did nice things for me too. Every year we would go trick-or-treating, and my mom would always go above and beyond to make costumes for me instead of just buy something random. My dad would wake up every Saturday morning, even though he was off work, to take me to Lowe's. Do they have Lowe's in every... Honestly, some of you guys where you're from, you might not have Lowe's, but basically it's a hardware store. And they had a program called Build and Grow. It was, again, one of those like kids things that teaches you life skills with incentives. So every week, and this was completely free. All you had to do was register online, and they would give you this little kit and this this really like this small hammer, and with your parents' supervision, you could build like a toy in the store. So it was really cool, like kind of crazy that it was absolutely free. But yeah, my dad would take me to that every Saturday morning, even though he absolutely did not have to. Spend time with me, teach me basic craftsmanship. So that's probably the best thing he's done for me. Like the nicest, like out of his way thing that he definitely didn't have to. So that's pretty cool. Okay, number 3. Let's see. Who is a celebrity you admire? It's hard to say nowadays. I don't really follow celebrities, especially like as an adult. I don't really have time for that. But I think when I was younger, it was probably the YouTubers I watched, especially those in the Minecraft space. I looked up to them a lot, not just because I wanted to make content like them, but just because I liked who they were as people. If I could name a few, there was Dan TDM, there was Jack Frost Miner, there was Stacy Plays, Captain Sparkles, Grazer. I can't even think. I watched so many Minecraft YouTubers as a kid. I can't even think of them all off the top of my head. And some of those are retired nowadays too. Like they haven't posted in a long time. So I definitely do miss their content. But at the same time, like the version of myself that I am today wouldn't really spend time watching those people. Because that kind of content is just, it's not my flavor anymore. But I certainly did really look up to them growing up. And I tried to be like them eventually. Making my own YouTube channel. And that didn't go very well. And here I am trying again, but with a different flavor of content. And so far it's doing good. So far I'm really enjoying it. All right, number 4. If someone gave you $20, what would you buy with it? All right, well, plain and simple, $20 is not a whole lot of money in today's economy. But I don't know. Probably food. If they gave me $20 cash, I'd probably just put it in my wallet and use it for lunch money, you know, because I usually buy lunch with the cash that I happen to have in my wallet. Because it's easier that way. And I don't have to spend my credit card on that. Because I usually save my credit card for either really big purchases or online things. If it's something small, like food, then yeah, I will spend cash on it. And usually at work, I will buy food while I'm there, and that's where most of my like physical cash goes to. So honestly, I would probably just take the $20 and spend it on lunch for 2 days worth. And I would be I'd be very grateful because, you know, every little bit helps. All right, we are on number 5, I believe. Let's see what we get. Would you switch roles with your parent if you had the chance? Uh, being brutally honest, probably not. Their job sounds very hard. I was a stubborn kid. When I believed in something, when I wanted something, I never gave up. And I definitely had a mouth too. I was not afraid to speak my mind. And I definitely got myself into a lot of trouble for not holding my tongue. I guess the good thing is I wasn't a violent kid, you know? Like, I didn't really throw huge fits. Is that our first diamond? Finally? Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I don't think I was a terrible kid. But even still, their job does not sound easy at all. So no, I wouldn't have swapped places with them. And even today, I still wouldn't, because even though I'm mostly caring for myself now, like, just the emotional baggage, I definitely don't give them enough credit. They work very hard for me and my 2 brothers. They've been working really hard for them too. But they say they wouldn't have it any other way. They say that they don't regret it, that they are super grateful for the opportunity to be our parents. So that's good. But I'm not sure if it's for me, honestly. I think I kind of like the idea of being a father, but I just don't know. I'm very undecided about it. Yeah. All right, number 6. Let's see. If you could be famous, would you want to, and why? This is gonna sound really ironic coming from a YouTuber, but no, probably not. I don't know if it's really for me, honestly. It sounds kind of fun, but it also seems like a whole lot of pressure that I don't know if I'm in the mood for. I mean, think about these big celebrities like, I mean, everyone knows Michael Jackson. Like, I mean, he had to walk around disguised all the time. He had to have security with him. If he went out with his family, he made sure their faces were covered because he wanted to protect their identities. Like, it's a lot of pressure being famous, and oftentimes is not realized enough. So I probably would not. I mean, I'd like to have a small following, enough to make me a little bit of extra money on the side, because I mean, I'm enjoying doing this so far, and I think if I could get paid for it, that would only make it so much more enjoyable and give me more motivation to keep going. But I don't want to be famous per se. Like, I don't want to have millions of subscribers. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's the answer to that. Number 7, let's see what we have. Do you think your priorities have changed since you were younger? Well, that's not super specific. I guess I should ask how young, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I think everybody, hopefully, should have some sort of priority shift. I definitely need to take my life more seriously. There's a lot of things that are really important to me. When I was younger, I think my biggest priority was just to make good grades, and it wasn't even so that I could be successful in the future. It was just so I could be done with the work. Really, it was just so I wouldn't make my parents mad. So, yeah, my biggest priority as a kid was just to get the hard, boring stuff out of the way and go live a life of action. Whether it be go outside to see my friends, or hang out indoors to play video games, or go to the pool and swim, or make some drawings. I used to draw a lot. As an adult, I still do have like resting is a priority. Having fun is definitely important, because if I was always grinding, if I was always working, I would be stressed out. But I definitely have other priorities too. Those being, well, you know, making rent, because I don't even want to begin to imagine what it might be like to be homeless. Other priorities would be, you know, like my friends, making sure they're okay, caring for them, loving them the way that I want to be loved, trying not to be selfish. There have definitely been times where I've been a little bit selfish towards my friends, but I'm getting better. I'm trying to understand their points of views. Oh yeah, that's another priority, is understanding people. Because I definitely feel like I have been misunderstood a lot of my life. You know, so being able to see other people's point of view is really important to me, because it makes it that much easier to actually love them and respect them when I can understand their thought process. So yeah, I make it a priority to make sure I understand people. That's definitely a really big one. And of course, my relationship with God. I want to make sure that I am as close to Him as I can be, making sure that I am obeying His word, spending time in His word, because I know He wants me to. I know He wants to have a relationship with me, and He can't do that if I am not making the space for it. So yeah, I definitely need to keep that as a priority too. Keep Him as my priority. And honestly, like, if He is my priority, I feel like everything else will kind of just fall into place. It'll start to kind of make sense. Like, the goals will kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that, but like, He'll just tell me in a way. Well, not verbally tell me, but He'll show me. He will find ways for me to realize what I need to be doing. So I do really appreciate Him for that. I lost count, but let's do another one. Let's see what we get. What is the silliest thing you've posted online? Well, this is gonna be a bit of a crazy lore drop, but I used to be on TikTok. Yeah, I know, terrible. Eventually I got tired of TikTok, and I didn't agree with their ethics, and it was not a healthy environment. But while I was there, I would post just kind of whatever random content. I was like 18, I think. somewhere around there. So this was a little bit after I had quit my first YouTube channel. But my girlfriend at the time was really into it. She did like cosplay and stuff, and she made TikToks of her favorite characters, of her dressed as her favorite characters, doing like audio trends, and you know how that goes. So I kind of did a little bit of that. I did some cosplay, not a whole lot. It was mostly just, I want to say most of it was gaming related content, just because that's like probably one of my biggest hobbies. And so the silliest one that I had actually got like 3 million views. And it was a clip of me saying that this is how I know that I've been gaming for way too long. And I was playing Rocket League, and I took a popcorn kernel and I put it on top of my PC, and I edited the clip, like I jump cut it, and I added a sound effect to make it look like the kernel popped just from sitting on the PC case from being so hot. So that was probably the silliest thing I posted. I think it was the most well done video, because apparently like people couldn't tell it was edited. Like like they thought like my case was just genuinely hot enough to pop a kernel. I think it got, yeah, I think so. Like 3 million, which is insane. I had never had any kind of thing blow up that crazy. But yeah, it was fun. I had fun on TikTok while I was there, but still, I wouldn't go back. It was not the place for me. I don't see myself sticking around. And even Instagram Reels, like I don't even know why I go there. I don't usually get much out of it. YouTube Shorts is kind of borderline all right for me, but even still, like most of the content that I prefer to consume is long form. I guess Instagram Reels keeps me cultured, but apart from that, like I don't really get anything out of it. So anyway, I digress. I wouldn't go back to TikTok. I had fun and I posted some silly stuff, but I would not do it again. I definitely prefer what I'm doing now. It's a lot less work on my part. Like this kind of content is way easier to make. I'm gonna say one more before we wrap up. Let's see if this last one ends well. Can we end strong? What do you think people need to know about each other before they get married? Oh my goodness. Yo, that's a perfect one to end on. Okay, well, there are a lot of things. The first thing you need to know is that you are on the same page about all the things that could pose issues in the future. So, religion is probably the most important thing. If one of you believes in a certain God and one of you believes in a different God, there is going to be conflict. If one of you is religious and one of you is not religious, the non-religious one is going to get frustrated, burnt out from the religious one. Finances are also one of the most important things. As far as I'm aware, it's been a while since I checked, but I've been told that statistically most marriages end because of some sort of financial disagreement. So you definitely want to make sure you are in sync about where the money is supposed to go, what your financial priorities are, if there are any debts that you are bringing into the marriage. You want to make sure that you have decided how that's going to be settled. Is that completely on your own? Is that going to be the income from your job alone? Or is your spouse obligated to help you pay off that debt? It's something that you really should talk about with your spouse, because if that comes up later and you fight about it, it might not end well. Just saying, statistically, like it might not end well. And then kids are another thing. when I got married, we agreed that we definitely did want to have kids, but we also agreed that we were not ready for kids. It was more of let's get financially comfortable and then we can start thinking about raising a family. And unfortunately, we never did get financially comfortable. She left me and I am I am borderline broke. So I'm definitely not ready for kids now. And would I get married again? I honestly, I can't give an answer right now. I don't know. I like the idea of it. I'm just not entirely sure if it's worth the stress. Like, I don't know if I want to risk going through that again. So take it from somebody who's been there. Marriage is not easy. It's exciting, sure. Oh wow, we got to try it on our first try. That's awesome. It's exciting. Yes, it is. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me, and at the same time, the worst thing that ever happened to me. So yeah, definitely give it a lot of thought, and don't get married too young. I got married when I was 20 years old, and apparently people change, you know, in a few years. Like if you're 20 something right now, your brain's not yet developed. You're not done growing. A few years down the line, you're going to be a much different person. And the person that you married will be a different person, and you might not like them anymore. So if my opinion matters, I would say please don't get married at 20. Honestly, maybe not even 23, how old I am. I would probably wait until like 25 or something. But I know people who got married at the same time as I did, and they are still together and they are very happy. So obviously it's not a one size fits all, but yeah, it's definitely something that needs a lot of consideration. You need to know a lot about each other, not just the things you're into, but like the things you believe at your core. And you also need to be aware of any changes that that person might go through. You know, like if they are carrying baggage, you want to make sure that you can help them work through that baggage before you decide to commit your life to them. They can be your partner while you are helping them with that, but I wouldn't marry them while they're still a broken person. Don't expect to marry a perfect person, obviously, but you certainly can't marry a broken person because they're not ready. I'm not ready. I may not be broken anymore, but I just don't want to go through that right now. I'm not in the position to support a partner at the moment. So if I do get married again someday, it's not going to be anytime soon. But again, that's me digressing, going a little bit off topic. Anyway, I think this was fun. I actually had the idea from a few other people. I've seen other YouTubers do the wheel spin conversation topic thing. And I think it helps. I think it gives me it gives me the practice I need to come up with my words on the fly instead of planning them, you know, like without knowing what I'm going to say. And that's how real life is. So maybe that's important to do. What's up, Creeper? I see you back there. How you doing? Chump. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you later. And I intend to do, I don't know if y'all saw my community post, but I'm thinking about doing a Minecraft story mode playthrough. Bear in mind, it will not replace these videos. These are still going to be going the same schedule that they are. But story mode is kind of underrated, I think, and a lot of people haven't even seen it. So I want to bring it back to light and see if we can get it some more attention. But that's another conversation for another day. It will happen when it happens. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate you being here, hanging around, chatting with me, even though I am by no means an interesting person. But I guess some of y'all seem to think so. 160 of y'all seem to think so. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos, for commenting, interacting with them. Every bit of engagement helps us push myself out to the algorithm more, get these videos out there, reaching people. It really does mean a lot. Okay, I'm done. You guys have a great day. I'll see you later.